Hello everybody, this is JD. Today I'm doing a video for you on a different computer using a whole different program. So, excuse me, but what are we going to talk about today? Two things. One, where'd all that money go? What am I talking about? Where did all that money go? Well, let's see. Bank of America got bailed out. General Motors got bailed out. Chrysler got bailed out, and they paid back everything, plus interest. Where did that money go? When they sold those shares to GM, where did that money go? When Bank of America paid back everything to the federal government, where did that money go? Actually, a lot of them have been paying back, and where did that money go? We're talking about trillions of dollars. Where did that money go? Call your congressman. Ask him, where did that money go? When they pay back, where does the money go? Somebody has to know where it is, because it's in our debt. When it got paid back, it should have been taken away from the debt, and they should be able to use it to help in other areas. But that money needs to be known. Where did it go? Now what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk to you today about our depression. I'm going to give you an example of how you and I, are going to get out of this depression. They're talking about a double dip recession. Well, that's because they don't want to call it what it really is, a depression. The only reason that this depression is not as bad as the 1929 depression is one reason, and one reason alone. Well, actually two things, but one reason. Social Security and unemployment. Never did our government ever realize that so many people would depend upon it. Social Security they expected, but unemployment they didn't. They figured our economy would grow. They never figured they put all kinds of stopgaps to prevent another depression, and whammo, it came. And the reason we have a recession instead of a major depression is those two items. Now, if you look at the worst of something, no matter what happens, you are prepared. But if you look at the least of what it is, if something else happens, you're not ready. That's why I call it a depression. Now, how can I said, I'm going to tell you one way that you can help me right now to get out of this depression. Go buy a candy bar. Just go buy yourself something. That's right. Go buy a candy bar. Or buy yourself something. Take a look at the candy bar for an instant. You go to the store and you buy a candy bar. What have you just done? Well, in that candy bar, let's take a standard candy bar that's made with nougat, nuts, and covered with chocolate. Those nuts were grown somewhere. That sugar comes from sugar cane, was grown somewhere. The other ingredients inside that candy bar were grown somewhere. So now we have 3 farmers now that you have employed just by buying that one candy bar. But now you have to process the food. You got to process the ingredients. There's at least one more person. Now you've employed 4 people to make that one candy bar. Now, the company that actually makes the candy bar, there's another person you employed. So by you buying that candy bar, you've employed 5 people. 5 people got a job because you bought that candy bar. Now here's the little secret. Be frugal. Don't go out and buy the $2 candy bar and say, whoa, I'm really going to help the economy. No. Buy the 50-cent, 75-cent candy bar. the one you can afford. And enjoy that candy bar knowing you helped the economy. Yes. That's it. Just go out and buy something. Simple. Try to get American made and you will help the American economy more. Go buy a shirt. Look for the labels. Just one shirt that says American made. Or one pair of pants that says made in USA. Or one little trinket that says made in USA. Just go buy one item. And then try to do that maybe once every 2 weeks or so. And that's how you are going to start helping. But be frugal. Very important. Not wasteful. Frugal. That means don't buy junk just because it's got, say, made in America on it. No. But you see something that you need to buy, look and see if you can get made in America. If not, then just buy something. Because even if you just buy something that was shipped in, you have the people working at the docks offloading, unloading, the people at the warehouse sorting and distributing, the people at the retail company that's sorting in and then distributing, and then the retail and that salesperson at the cashier. So you might have employed 20 people, even if it was made in China. See? So how are we going to get out of this, quote, recession, which I call a depression? The first thing is we got to do it together, and you all have to also help. Understand this depression is not going to last forever. They never do. Even the very worst, they always have an end. We just have to make it through it. And we can do it together. We, you and I, can actually do this. And we can make the American economy. And there is something that I'm going to do that's going to give a shot in the arm to our economy. It's going to send it through the roof. But I'm not going to tell you on the internet. So, here's a plain, simple example. How can we together just buy a candy bar? That's all. An 85-cent candy bar, 65-cent candy bar. And think about how many people you employed just to make that candy bar. And that's how we're going to do it. We are going to do it. We can, but we must do it together. Just like me becoming president. I can't do it alone. There's no way. Truth of the matter is, no matter how hard I try alone, I count only one vote. And heck, last election they didn't even count my one vote. So, what can we do? We can do it together. Why do you think when I said, when I win the election, I'm bringing your voice to Washington, D.C.? Because I'm neither Republican nor Democrat. And I'm going to need each and every one of you. Because Congress is not going to like us for 6 months. You think Congress is going to like you, the people, telling them what to do? Not till they realize what we're really doing. It's going to be a rough 6 months for Congress. But I think we're going to get a lot of corruption out of Congress together. Because once we get those lobbyists, the political parties, off the floor of Congress, where they don't need to belong in the first place, I think there's a lot that can be accomplished. But we have to go after the corrupt political parties. That's where the corruption is. Because the political parties support the lobbyists. They support the lobbyists because they want the money. They sold out the country. That's where the corruption comes from. There's things I'm going to do, like no congressman or senator is going to get paid direct from the Department of Treasury. None. Why? Because they don't work for the federal government. They will get a compensation, but that will be sent to the state, and the state will pay their congressmen and senators. We're not going to reduce their pay. We just want them to know where it's coming from. It comes from the states they represent. That's why that's going to be done. So, bottom line, people, there's a lot we got to do, and there's a lot that we, all of us, have to do together. The rich, the poor, the middle class. We have to realize we're not separate classes. We're Americans. Some of us are rich. Some of us are ridiculously rich. Some of us are so rich that the state of Rhode Island wish they had that money. I'm just using that as an example. And also, some of us are poor, extremely poor. So poor we can't afford a roof over our head. So poor we can't afford a dinner. So poor we can't even afford the clothes that we wear. Even if we go to a thrift store to buy it, we can't afford it. And everybody in between. We, Americans, no matter if your house is a cardboard box down the alleyway somewhere, or your house is a big mansion, we, as Americans, have to pull together. Once we start doing that, we're going to have it a lot better than the rest of the world. A real lot better. Realize that it's us, Americans. We're not Republicans or Democrats like Congress thinks, both the House and Senate. We're not serving the Republican Party or the Democrat Party like the Congress thinks, the House and the Senate, and the current president. No, we are a nation of many different type of people that make up one great nation. Our difference is what makes us so great. Really. Look at you. Look at the person next to you. They're both different. And the person who lives across the street, person down the block, person 100 miles away. But we're all Americans. Our difference is what makes us all common towards each other. We're a bunch of individuals that make up a society. And we can fix this economic turmoil we're in. And it's going to be a lot easier for some of those people at the top, and a lot harder for some of those people down at the bottom. But we have to start. We got to believe in ourselves. We have to know it can and will grow our economy. But first, let's start with the first step. Go buy a candy bar. Just a simple candy bar. Or if you want, buy something. But just go out. That will greatly help our economy. I just want you to think about that. That is just the beginning of all the things we can do. Also, don't let Congress get away with that money. That's trillions upon trillions of dollars that's coming back into our government from these companies. Where is it? Make them accountable for it. You have to do it. If I was president, I would tell you exactly where every penny we got back was. Because you need to know. And Congress apparently does too, because they probably have no idea. We need to keep track of everything. Remember this, the man who picks up the penny and counts them all will always be rich. The man who walks by and doesn't notice the money going will always be poor. We need to keep track of everything and every penny, where it's going and how it's going. That should be the job for the Internal Revenue Service. Internal Revenue Service. We have to go another way with our taxes. But we have to monitor where everything's going. We need to know. And to help the economy, go buy something. go shopping and buy just a candy bar. And you will help greatly. Thank you. This is JD.